Hello and welcome to Gardening at 58 North. So in this video I'm going to give you an update on my Ficus benjamina bonsai here. The last time I did an update on this was back in August of 2016, so it's been 6 months or so since I've last done an update. The growth hasn't been very fast. The reason for that is because here in Scotland, once you get to September, the sun gets quite low, so it hasn't really had a lot of sunshine, so it's just been ticking over slowly. But the shape of it has come a lot better than it has since I last showed you it. So in the last video I was just doing a bit of wiring, readjusting it, try and get the branches a nice shape. You can see from here that they've really done quite nicely. Over the rest of August and September, it did actually put on a fair bit of growth. I managed to do a bit more wiring in I think it was October, and you can see that it's got a nice growth habit now. There's quite a lot of extra branches compared to when I last did it, and it's generally looking quite good. So as I say, since October it's probably not really grown at all, to be honest. It's just been sitting there dormant, and I noticed one or two of the lower leaves were starting to get a bit yellow. I can just show you, there's one here, might be hard to tell on the camera, but it's very subtle, but you can just see a bit of yellow blotching starting to appear. And I think there was one leaf that actually went completely yellow and fell off, and that told me that this was a bit low in nitrogen, and to be honest I hadn't fed it for about 3 or 4 months. So I just started feeding it about 2 weeks ago, and already it's produced quite a good result. So you can see here it's got some new growth coming out. If you can get that in focus, just this here, some new growth here, new growth there, and all along this branch as well there's lots of, and this branch there's lots of new growth starting to appear. So it's responded well to the feed. And it's only appeared on the one side because that's the side where the sun shines on it, so I've actually rotated it now so the sun's more on this side to help balance it out. And it should come into good growth soon. It's coming towards the middle of February now, the sun's getting brighter, and as soon as we're in March the sun's going to be a good level again, and I expect strong growth, so I keep feeding it. But generally I'm very happy with it. There's not much work I need to do on it really, and the reason for that is it hasn't really grown much, the stems haven't fattened up much, so the wires haven't started to cut into the plant at all, so it's not an issue at all. So in this video I'm just going to be putting a few extra wires on here and there, just to make sure that some of the newer growth is also wired into the kind of growth that I want. So what I've been doing in the past is, if I get this into an angle so you can see the branch structure better, what I've had is it comes up from the main trunk, branches into several larger branches, and then as the branches come up they then sweep down again, so it kind of has a weeping habit at the end of the branch. I feel that's a bit more natural looking, and it is a weeping fig, so you'd expect that. So there's a few branches like here I might try and bring up just a little bit and then pull down a bit at the ends, so a bit of wiring there will be useful for that. There's a few other branches which are going straight up, and I'm actually going to leave them, and the reason is I want to get some larger branches established so that I can then thicken some of the trunk, because the trunk hasn't really thickened much since I put it in the bonsai pot, and that's because I've been pruning it a lot. But generally I'm very happy with the growth of it at the moment. There's not going to be any pruning in this video. I don't think there's a need to prune yet. As I say, I want to let the growth grow quite a lot, and so that it'll thicken up, and then be ready for pruning. So I'll just get my camera set up and I'll show you a little bit of me wiring. So I'll probably wire this branch here and get, as I say, to come slightly up and then curve down at the edge. So the first thing I'm going to do with this branch is to pull it up slightly higher, up to more about this height. So to do that I'll be tying on a tie round about where this other tie is, going down to this lower branch, and that will link in with another branch as that will support it and pull it up. And in fact there's a nice branch on the other side here which I'd like to increase the height of slightly. Don't know if you can see that. I'd like to pull that up slightly, and if I connect the two that will help to pull up both of them, so it'll work quite well. So first of all I'm just going to tie it on this side. I'm then going to carefully wrap it around the edge of this branch here at the right position so that it pulls it up in the way that I want it to be pulled up, and then once that's secured I can then tighten it further. So that's now secured at both the points I'd like it, but I just need to tighten it now. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to twist it in the center here. As you can see, as I twist the wire, it tensions it and it pulls out both branches. And I'll just slightly adjust the positioning on this branch so it pulls it up, giving it a bit more leverage. And what I want to do is I actually want to go a little bit over from what I want it to be. So say if I want it to be this angle, I'm actually going to pull it up to this angle, and that's because there'll be a tiny bit of natural elasticity in this trunk, and it will try and pull back down to where it was before. So that looks quite good, I think. I'm quite happy with that. So next what I need to do is get a small piece of existing wire, and I'm going to attach it to the end of this piece. So in order to curve the end of the branch down, I'm going to start off by tying the new piece of wire just onto the base where it starts to branch away from. This is the part where I wanted to start changing direction. So I'm just going to wrap it around carefully, making sure that it's tight to the trunk but it's not extremely tight, so that if it does grow, there's not going to be any issue with it cutting into the stem in the next few weeks. It will cut into the stem if I leave it for too long, but just enough slack that it can grow a tiny bit before that happens. So there we are, that's it wrapped around, and now I can just bend it to the position I want. So there it is. As I said before, I'm going to do it slightly more than I would like because it was going to spring back with a bit of elasticity. This one won't spring back as much because this is a very young shoot. So there you are, you can see that's come down. I'm actually going to let this one grow a little bit higher before I curve that down. So using the same approach, I'm going to go through the whole tree now, and I'm going to wire it all in as to that kind of design. So I think that's as much wiring as I'm going to do today. I've also retweaked a few of the ones that were already wired, just changing the angle and the position just to try and make them fit in well with what I've wired up today. There's a few shoots, such as this one here. You can see it's very long, it's quite a new fresh shoot, and it's coming straight out. This one I'm actually going to grow a bit larger, and then I'm going to cut it back hard. That's a different technique. What that does is it helps, as I say, to thicken up the base, and then it'll also help with branching as well. So I'll be doing that with that one. But the rest of them I'm just going to wire up. You can see there's a few that I haven't wired because I'm happy with how it's naturally grown. And as I say, there's a few I'm going to let grow straight up, and they're either going to become higher branches or they're just going to be allowed to grow large, and then after a while they're going to thicken up, and then I'll cut them back hard. So I think that's it now for my Ficus benjamina. I'll give you a little show of the roots so you can see how they're doing at the moment. It should come out fairly easily. So there we are. It's not particularly pot bound at the moment. You can see though I've got some of the roots are quite thick, so I probably do need to do a bit of root pruning on this at some point to get a better type of root. But they're fairly healthy, and although it's not root bound, it is putting on some fresh growth, so it's doing quite well, and it's probably gonna become root bound by the summer, so I definitely need to cut it back then. And as I say before, with these big strong roots, I'll probably prune some of them back so that there's a finer roots, because what you want is lots of thin feeder roots. You don't want these thicker roots that I've got here. So a little bit of root pruning will be needed in the summer, but generally I'm quite happy with the roots at the moment. I don't know if I'm going to change the way that the base of it looks. I feel like I may have gone a little bit too far with exposing the root, and I could possibly cover up a bit more of the roots now. But I was trying to get a buttress effect, so I may let these grow bigger. When these fatten up, it may become more of a buttress effect, or it may not look so good, so I may cover them up again. So I'll just keep an eye on them, make a decision as to what I want to do with that. If I want to encourage these to grow fatter, what I can do is cut off some of the main roots that are underneath the trunk, and that will divert more of the energy down these two. But as there's only two, I would really like possibly 4 in total, so if I could get some more going out of here, that would be fantastic. But at the moment, I'm not sure how I'm going to do that. That's it for now for my bonsai, my Ficus benjamina bonsai update. As you can see, it's doing really well. The structure's really starting to look good, and I'm quite happy overall with the general appearance of my Ficus benjamina bonsai.